Ojewumi. I'm the convener of project Christine 120 Minutes with Festus. At 120 Minutes with Festus, we discuss valuable initiatives which are actually not taught in the four corners of the school. There are a lot of things that we were not taught when we were in school, and which is actually very important to, to our lives, especially the young people in this a highly competitive, AI dominated world. Today is the first edition of 120 Minutes with Festus in the year 2026. And at the same time, the ninth edition of 120 Minutes with Festus since inception in February 2025. And during this course, we have actually discussed a lot of things, a lot of important topics, which will actually help young minds to grow. Topics like attitude, topics like effective leadership, personal grooming, etiquette, and the likes. So, on this note, I want to welcome you to the year 2026, and permit me to say Happy New Year, because this is the first edition we'll be having in the year 2026. When 2025 was rounding off, we discussed an important topic that has to do with persistence. We spoke on the power of persistence. And today we'll be discussing on the second part of the power of persistence. And this is actually very important in this year 2026. As we begin the year, it's very important for us to know why persistence is actually very important as we dive into the year 2026. So today we'll be discussing on power of persistence part 2. And as a matter of fact, we'll be talking on the psychology of persistence. We're talking about psychology of persistence. We'll also be talking about the mindset of a winner in persisting. Mindset is key. Our mind is the seat of power. Everybody has a particular mind. So our mind is a seat of power, and we'll be looking at the mindset of a winner in persisting. And also today we'll be looking at the benefits of persistence. To persist, are there benefits? Why do I need to persist? Do I have anything to gain in persistence? So we'll be looking at that today. And also, we'll be looking at the dangers in not being persistent. If I don't know the benefits, if I'm not ready to persist in this year 2026, what do I stand to lose? Do I stand to lose anything? Yes, today I'm going to be talking about dangers in not being persistent. So I want you to sit back. I don't want you to log out as we unveil the power of persistence in the year 2026, part 2, power of persistence. We're going to learn a lot in this edition. And moving into the year 2026, by the time you stay glued and you have proper understanding of what we're talking about, then you will see that at the end of the year 2026, you'll be glad that you are part of this edition today. Power of persistence. Shall we? Now, when we talk about the psychology is just the scientific study of our mind. Our mind is crucial. Our mind is important. I said earlier that our mind is actually the seat of power. Whatever we will become in life has something to do with our mind. And that is why it's always very important. For those who find it difficult to persist, what are the things that they lack? So we're going to look at it, the psychology of persistence. Like I said, to comprehend why many people lack persistence, it's actually crucial to examine the underlying psychological factors. When we talk about persistence, we talk about the underlying factors. What are the factors that is actually in want to persist? I said number one is instant gratification. And what does that mean? Instant gratification. If you are the type that always want to be gratified, that what you expect things to happen just like that, then there is every likelihood for you to lack the power of persistence. We humans are programmed in a way that instant gratification will always attract us more. Yes, instant gratification. I want everything immediately. I want everything I lay my hands upon to just begin to work out well immediately. Instant gratification. And if you have that mentality, there's every likelihood for you not to have the power to persist. Instant gratification. In today's fast-paced world, instant gratification has become the norm. Of course, instant gratification has become the normal thing. When I start doing something and I want that thing to begin to materialize now, most times it doesn't work that way. Have discussion with the billionaires of this world, business mongols and all the likes. They will tell you that in several occasions they had to fail and try again and try again and try again before they become what they are today. So instant gratification is one of the psychology of persistence. When you are fond of immediate gain, when you want everything to work at a very faster pace, then there's every likelihood for you to lack the power of persistence. So people are seeking for immediate results. Like I said earlier, they want everything, and that is why I used to say something where Indomie generation, we want everything to be to materialize immediately, quick, quick, chap, chap, no time to say no time. That's a slogan. Some people say there's no time to say no time. No time to say no time. Well, people are seeking immediate results and can easily become discouraged when progress is not fast or much more harder than their expectations. Yes, some people they plan to start a business. They just think immediately I open that shop, then I will begin to sell. Sales will be coming very fast, very fast. And that's actually their mindset. They have forgotten that most of the things that happens to us, sometimes delay could be a blessing sometimes. But as many people that fail to persist, then there's every likelihood of them dropping out faster than imagined. This desire for quick outcome often leads to abandoning endeavors prematurely. Some people, the business you abandoned last year, the vision you abandoned last year because the first 2 months of you cultivating that business, you were not actually what you were actually expecting, were not actually coming true, and you abandon it, it becomes premature. Instant gratification is one of the psychology. Instant gratification is a thing of the mind. It's actually a thing of the mind. And that is why this year, 2026, you must be determined, especially young people, you must be determined to persist because nothing good works the first time. So you must be determined to persist because nothing good works the first time. This is actually very key and important. So the desire for quick outcomes often leads to abandoning endeavors prematurely. Don't forget this. Instant gratification is one of the psychology of persistence. Let's check the second one. The second one is lack of clarity and purpose. Lack of clarity and purpose. For you to work on. As this year begins, January, your purpose must be clear and you must be purpose. So when you lack purpose, that thing will not enable you to assist. When you lack purpose, when you find it difficult to see the end of good thing in mind, then there's every likelihood for you not to persist. So, most important point for you as this year begins, lack of clarity and purpose. Your purpose must be clear. You must have a clear vision. As a matter of fact, you must write them down. So, it's easy to lose motivation when faced with obstacles. Yes. The truth of the matter is, if you find it very difficult to have vision, you find you do not have vision, you do not have purpose, by the time you are confronted with little delay or little obstacles, you tend to compromise. So this year, you must have it at the back of your mind that your vision must be clear and you have purpose. Oh, at the end of 2026, I want to achieve this and that with the help of God. So lack of clarity and purpose is another psychology of persistence. And when you lack purpose, it's a thing of the mind. Live life the way it comes, live life just like that. It will not work. You must be purposeful. You must be purposeful. So let me remind you this again, that having proper vision is the fuel for you. I'm going to take that again. Let me remind you again that having proper vision is the fuel for you. If you want to travel and you have a car, a very good car, but there is no fuel inside that car, you are going nowhere. When you have fuel inside that car, that is when the car can actually work optimally. So you are the car. Your vision is the fuel. Your vision must drive you, and that is just it. So you must have a clear purpose. You must be purposeful that, oh, come this 2026 is a new year, is a great year. I must be purposeful. I must be purposeful. And irrespective of what comes my way, irrespective of any obstacles that comes my way, I will persist. Lack of clarity is another psychology of persistence. Let's look at another point. Fear of failure. Say fear and failure. To tell I used to say something that failure is actually the fertilizer that grows the seed of success. Yes. When you plant, take for instance, you plant maize and you use chemical, you use fertilizer. Why do you use fertilizer? You use fertilizer so that the maize can grow rapidly, so that the growth will not be stunted. Now, failure and fear, they are the fertilizer that grows the seed of success. So if you want to be successful, you must not be afraid to fail. You must not be afraid to fail. Failure is an unavoidable part of our journey towards success. I've never seen a successful man that has never failed. I have never seen one. And that is why you must be purposeful. You must not be afraid to fail. Yet, the fear of it can be paralyzing. Of course, we are humans. Of course, we are humans. The fear of failure can be paralyzing, but that you should be afraid to take step. You must take step. You must be purposeful. Many individuals are afraid to persist. Why? Because they associate failure with personal inadequacy or shame. And that's the mistake many people, especially young minds, that's the mistake they make. They are afraid to persist because they associate failure with personal inadequacy or shame. No! That you failed does not mean you lack capacity. That you failed does not mean you do not know how to do it. No. Sometimes failure is an unavoidable part of our journey towards success. Unavoidable part of our journey towards success. You must not be afraid to fail. A billionaire, a man could be a billionaire was talking. I was listening to him one time. He said, I'm a billionaire now because I have lost billions. Yes, I'm a billionaire now because I've lost billions. If you see a millionaire is that person that have lost millions, but continue to be in the process. So before you can be a millionaire, it means you have lost millions. Before you can be a billionaire, it means you have lost billions, but you never relented. That's just it. You never relented. It means you were persistent. You were persistent. You lost billions, you never gave up, and now you are a billionaire. So that is what it means. Many people want to be a millionaire without losing millions. It doesn't work that way most times. Yes. Discuss with experts, gurus in business. They will tell you a millionaire is actually the person that had lost millions. So failure is an unavoidable part of our journey towards success. Yet the fear of it can be paralyzing, of course. Of course. Many individuals are afraid to persist. Why? Because they associate failure to personal inadequacies or shame. It doesn't work. So if you want to be a success, then you must recognize failure. You must recognize obstacles and you must devise means of overcoming such an obstacle. That's how it works. So consequently, they opt for safer, less challenging paths to avoid potential setbacks. So many people, because they are afraid, they, because they are afraid to fail, they try to dodge. They try to dodge. Many people, they are very lazy. They don't want to work. There's a Yoruba adage that I usually say that, "Ọ̀lẹ ló máa ṣiṣẹ́ tó le last." Yes, someone that is running from work, young mind, young people running from work. Don't worry. Those are the kind of people that they have long life. So if they have long life, at the end of the day, the job, the work, that Herculean task they ran away from during their youthful age, that is the same work they will do at their old age. Even they will do something more harder. Fear of failure and fear of failure. Don't be afraid to fail. Just have an open mind. Have an open mind, which is actually very important. Don't opt for safer, less challenging paths to avoid potential setbacks. Don't, don't. Face your fear with all strength, and you'll be glad you did. Face your fear. Don't be afraid. So also the psychology of persistence, overwhelm and burnout, inadequate self-care, lack of, you are overwhelmed. And I will tell you some of the things that make people to be overwhelmed, especially young people. Overwhelmed. What makes people to be overwhelmed? What? These problems are made worse by social media. Yes, young people, they are made worse by social media and technology, which encourage connectedness and information overload. You are being overwhelmed. Social media has actually overwhelmed many people. So being overwhelmed because TikTok, very short clip, 1 minute clip, they watch a couple of numbers, they watch 10, 20, 30 before they know what's happening. They are now loaded with excess information that is not even useful for them. So one of the things that has been identified to be causing overwhelming is social media and technology, which encourage constant connectedness and information overload. And that is why you need to pay attention to it. Social media is good, yeah, but it's actually taking a lot of people's time. People who are not planned, who do not plan their time, and at the end of the day, they are burnt out, overwhelmed and burnout. He said overwhelm and burnout can have detrimental effects on one's quality of life, productivity, and health if they are not addressed. I have a lot of people, young people, they can spend several hours on social media, several hours without doing anything reasonable. And these are the people, when you give them a particular task, they can at the same time spend several hours on a very simple task. So the same hours they spend while on social media is the same hours they spend on doing very little things they could have done within the space of 30 minutes and put it behind them. They spend several hours, overwhelmed and burnt out. And as a result of that, there's no way you can be persistent. This is actually very key and important. Please take it to heart. Let's talk about mindset of a winner in persisting. Mindset of a winner. Like I said, I talk about the psychology of persistence. And when you talk about psychology generally, is the scientific study of the mind. That means a winner must have a mindset. A loser also has a mindset. Both the winners and the losers, they both have mindsets. But let us check the mindset of a winner in persisting. Number one thing, winners recognize that learning is a lifelong journey. That's number one thing. Winners, they recognize that learning is a lifelong journey. They reject the notion of being unable to teach an old dog new tricks. What does that mean? Teaching an old dog new tricks. That means despite the fact new tricks, they would. That is what? Persistence. The dog, they know, but they will not stop teaching old dog new tricks. And that is what you must also. They reject the notion of being unable. Say, no, 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 this dog is old. So, as a matter of fact, there's no need of. No. And that is why winners recognize that learning is a lifelong journey. A lifelong journey. They reject the notion of being unable to teach an old dog new tricks. Instead, committing themselves to continuous self improvement. That is it. Commitment to self-improvement. They will never stop reading. They will never stop learning. They will never stop learning new things. And that is what it means to be persistent. And that is the mindset of a winner. The mindset of a winner. They will not stop learning. They face obstacles. They look for ways to overcome it. They face obstacles. That obstacle will not let them down. That is the mindset of a winner. I have a story of some set of people that wanted to kill a goat. And they decided not to slaughter the goat, but to put the goat inside a dish and bury that goat alive. That was the mindset. Say, no, we won't slaughter this goat. We will, we will bury this goat alive. So they now dug a well, a hole, a deep hole, and threw the goat inside. And they began to heap soil on the goat. But lo and behold, you know what the goat was doing? As they heap soil on the goat shake it off. The heap, shake it off. Heap, shake it off. Before they know what's happening, the soil that they were pouring on the goats, eventually goats use that soil, that land to get out of the deep hole, you know? That is it. The mindset that no, if I encounter any obstacle, I'm going to use that obstacle or challenge to my advantage. That was what the goat did actually. So when you encounter any obstacle this year, see it as a challenge for you to do what? To progress rather than running away from that challenge. Face it head on. That's the mindset of a leader. To improve your mindset of a leader, winner of a winner. Winners consistently seek ways to expand their knowledge, learn new skills, and refine their crafts. They learn, they unlearn, they relearn. And that is the mindset of a winner. They will never be satisfied with what they have known. They are always hungry to learn more. Mindset of a winner. They are always hungry, just like a lion, always hungry to devour. Winners consistently seek ways to expand their knowledge, acquire new skills, and refine their craft. They embrace a growth mindset. I was discussing with someone, and that person was actually telling me challenges he has been facing on acquiring additional certificates and things like that. And he said, well, whatever the person has to do, whatever my supervisor, whatever he does, that's and blah, blah, blah. The person just agreed to say, no, no, I'm not, I can't come and kill myself. I'm just fine. I'm this and that and things like that. But the mindset of the winner, they embrace growth mindset. believing their talents and abilities can continuously be developed and improved through dedication and hard work. Yeah, through dedication and hard work. They so much believe that their talents and their abilities can continue through dedication and hard work. Dedication, that's the mindset of a winner. Hardworking and dedicated, irrespective of the challenges that come their way, they face the challenge head on. Mindset of a winner. I hope I'm mindset of a winner. Winners understand that success is not solely determined by innate talent, but results from effort, perseverance, and a willingness to learn and adapt. Success is not only solely determined by talent. Yes, some they are not skilled in a particular they are not skilled in a particular task or in a particular how will I put it now? They are not skilled in a particular profession, but they built their capacity. Yes, they built their capacity because they understand the fact that success is not solely determined by innate talent. Yes, as a matter of fact, even if you see those set of people that have innate ability, maybe a footballer, a needs to actually develop his talent bowling in order for him to become exceptional. A footballer, they need to do what? And that is why they do rigorous trainings. They train because they know that, okay, they have ability to play football, that they have innate skill, innate ability in playing football. But that is not the end of it. Hard work should be added to it. And that is why you see people. I was listening to a story of a man, a great footballer. He said after all his colleagues had finished training and they have gone to their respective rooms and things like that, that is when he will start his own training afresh. After all his colleagues might have trained together, trained with his colleagues, do rigorous training. So by the time they are sleeping, he's still training. And that's the mindset of a winner. They know that success is not solely determined by innate talent, but results from efforts, perseverance, willingness to learn and adapt. That's the mindset of a winner, and that is what you should actually cultivate in this new year 2026. Because by the time you put all these at heart, you will be glad in 2026 December that, oh, you were able to achieve a lot because you possess the mindset of a winner by persisting. Let's talk about the benefits of persistence. Persistence, we're talking about persistence. Is there any benefit? Let's see. Say persistence is a powerful and essential trait for success in all aspects of life. Persistence is a powerful and essential trait for success in all aspects of life, including personal, professional, and academic. Its benefits are numerous and far-reaching. Persistence. Persistence. I have, I have seen people who are successful today. I have seen a lot take organizations that started from the scratch with nothing, and they have become conglomerates today. I have seen non-governmental organizations like 10 years ago with one staff, but because of power of persistence, they have over 30 staffs today. That is how it works. Persistence is the key, and that's the benefit. Let's talk about the benefits. Benefit of persistence. Talking about the benefit of persistence. What is happening to this? I hope we are off. Benefits of persistence. Number one, persistence makes it more likely that you will achieve. Yeah, persistence. It makes it more likely when you are persistent in doing something good. It shows that you are likely for you to achieve your goal, and it has nothing to do with your age. It has nothing to do with your background. It has nothing to do. Persistent. It means that you are likely to achieve your goal. That's one of the benefits. He said, when you face obstacles, difficulties, and setbacks, persistence helps you stay motivated and focused on your objectives. And that's one of the benefits of being persistent. It helps you stay motivated and focused on your goals. The greater your persistence, the greater your likelihood of success. Persistence. But take, for instance, you have a vision, you have a goal to achieve something, you just try it one, two times, three times, and because it's not working, you just dump it. No, it cannot work. No, 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 no. You cannot succeed. And you jump to another thing. Jack of all trade, master of none. When you are persistent in what you do, there is greater of success. Persistence is key and important. So achieving your goals, you need to be persistent, and that is one of the benefits of persistence. Achieving goals, developing resilience. That's another thing. Persistence helps you develop resilience, the ability to bounce back from challenges and difficulties, and that is what it means to be resilient. Persistence helps you to develop resilience, the ability to bounce back from challenges and difficulties. When you are persistent, there's a kind of innate strength that you gather, you put together, that what made you to fail earlier will no more be something big in your side again, and that is persistence. So when you are persistent, you develop resilience. Persistence leads to resilience. So when you are persistent, when you persist through challenges and setbacks, you build mental strength. When you are persistent through challenges and setbacks, you build mental strength and resilience that enable you to overcome future challenges. That's one of the benefits of being persistent. You build mental strength. Your mind is reshaped. Your mind is reconfigured. That thing that made you to fail earlier, you are no more afraid of it again, and that is resilience. So when you are persistent, your mental capacity, your mental strength is developed, and you have actually known more, especially when you fail and you analyze what actually made you to fail. Your mental strength is renewed. So, and that is one of the benefits of being persistent. You build mental strength and resilience that enable you to overcome future challenges. It's key. So when you are persistent, this enables you to overcome future challenges. And by so doing, you become a new person. I can begin to tell you a number of things that number of times that I had failed in one or two things, but I never gave up. And eventually, my mental strength is renewed. So I have a different mentality from those people that failed and ran away. I have a different mentality. I have learned more. And that is one of the benefits of being persistent. Building self, oh my, I can use hers to actually discuss on building self-confidence, what it means to build self-confidence. And to my amazement, young people of nowadays, this is what they lack. Because of the way they were brought up, the children, the way they were brought up, their mindset is so narrow. They find it difficult to ask some questions. Little thing knock them out. So they now lack self-confidence. They cannot engage in productive conversations. Only very few can actually be engaged in intellectual discussions. Why? Because they failed one time and ran away. So you build self-confidence. Say persistence helps build self-confidence. When you see the result of your persistent efforts, you gain a sense of accomplishment and self-assurance that can carry over into other aspects of your life. Oh God. When you are persistent, there's something it does to you. There's something it does to you. It helps you to build self-confidence. So when you build self-confidence, you're able to have self-assurance that can carry you over into other aspects of your life. And that is the importance of being persistent, building self-confidence. And that is why it's key and important that you need to be persistent so that your self-confidence can be built. Some people, if you want, some young men, if you want to kill them, just ask them to come and probably have a discussion, even in front of their, what's it called, in front of their class. They lack that self-confidence. And the truth of the matter is anybody that has a very low self-esteem cannot go far in life. Yes. So you need to build that your self-confidence. And that's one of the benefits of being persistent. Another benefit, say enhancing creativity. Enhancing creativity. Persistence can also enhance your creativity. There's something that when you continue to do something, there are things it actually creates in your mind. You learn more, you gain more, you become more creative. Wow, I did this yesterday, I did it today. Oh, I've learned more. I have seen the way I can do it better. So persistence actually enhances your creativity. It makes your mind to come alive. Like I said earlier, it builds your mental capacity. So when you keep pushing forward with a project or a goal, you are more likely to develop new ideas and solutions that you might not have thought of otherwise. So when you are persistent, you continue to do new things, you continue to do it, there are a lot of things you learn. Like I remember using myself as an example, like 10 years ago, I've always been writing proposals, write. It got to a time now that when I want to write proposal, irrespective of how tough and difficult that proposal is, I can write it within 2 days. As a matter of fact, I've written one European Union proposal within 3 days. And if you are conversant with European Union proposal, you know that no, it's always very tough. But why? Because I've been persistent in writing it. So I have actually gained mastery in writing it. So that's what persistence actually does to you, enhancing creativity. When you are persistent, you gain mastery of it. Another benefit of being persistent, increasing productivity. And there's no way you will build your mental capacity that your level of productivity will not increase. There's no way, because they are intertwined. They are intertwined. When you build your mental capacity through being persistent, there's no way you won't be productive. Whether in your academics, whether in your school, whether in your place of work, mention it. There's no way you will not be productive. Some people are not productive today because they are not persistent in doing that which they ought to be doing. And they have decided not to task their brain. And one thing about the brain is the brain can be docile if you don't push it, of course. And if you push it, the brain can be elastic. The brain can accommodate more. So the same thing to your mind. So your brain is elastic. If you don't stretch it, it will not expand. Many people are not actually trying to place fire, so to say, fire in quotes, on their brain so that it can expand. Like I said earlier, some people see challenges like this, they try to boycott it. No, that's not life. So when you are persistent, it will increase your productivity. When you are persistent and committed to achieving your goals, you are more likely to be focused and productive, minimizing distractions and staying on track. And this is what is killing Nigeria as a country: lack of productivity, especially the civil servants. They're not productive because they see that regular end of the month salary, they are okay with it. And that is why the private sector is booming. And that is why you see Nigeria embracing privatization. They privatize everything because we lack productivity. We are not working with time. In abroad, they work part time, pay as you earn, or so to say, 1 hour, two. But as in this country, this is what is killing Nigeria: lack of productivity, because people are not persistent. So when you are persistent, you minimize distractions. You won't be distracted. It will increase your productivity. And before you can increase your productivity, you must minimize your distractions and staying on track. So persistence is key and important so that your productivity can be increased. And I'm challenging young people. They need to be productive. Yes, they need to be productive. Many people spend a lot of time on social medias and things like that, and they got burnt out, just like I discussed earlier, burnout. So increasing productivity is one of the benefits of being persistent. Yeah, it's like developing self-discipline. When you are persistent, when you are persistent, you'll be disciplined, because persistence is closely linked to self-discipline. As you persist through obstacles and setbacks, you build self-discipline, or your ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors and focus on your goal. As time goes on in the year, I will be teaching of emotional intelligence. And that's so how you can deal with your emotions, how you can discipline yourself, how you can deny yourself of immediate pleasure so that you can get long time pleasure. Developing self-discipline. I was in a place, I was just discussing with some young minds. I said, okay, if you see your first 100,000, what you used to buy? Some people say, I'll buy this, I'll buy that, iPhone. Most of the things they were mentioning are not things that could actually help in building their capacity. Like I used to say, you see those rich men put pleasure last. Poor people put pleasure first. And that's one of the difference between the rich men and the poor people. So they put pleasure first and put pleasure last. So it's actually very important for us. All right, talking about the benefits of persistence. Sorry for the interruption, for the break. Now, developing self-discipline. One of the benefits of being persistent is you develop self-discipline. When you closely linked to self-discipline, and as you persist through obstacles and setbacks, you build self-discipline, and that's one of the things. Or your ability to control your thoughts. When you are persistent, you control your thoughts, you control your emotions and your behaviors, and focus on your goal. And when you focus on your goals, then there won't be anything like distraction. Now, as we round up, what are dangers in non-persistence? We talk about the benefits, we talk about the psychology of persistence, then we talk about the benefits and the mindset of the winner. Let's quickly talk about the dangers in non-persistence. Is there any dangers? Let's see. Say opportunities without persistence will be lost. As a matter of fact, some people, they have actually lost golden opportunities because they were not persistent. They have lost golden opportunities because they gave up earlier than they started. So opportunities without persistence will always be lost, because most times opportunities don't come immediately. Like I discussed earlier about instant gratification as part of the psychology of persistence, because some people were not willing to push through. They were not willing to face the obstacles. They were not willing to at least give it more shots. They lost the opportunity. So opportunities without persistence will always be lost. Like I said, talent without persistence never comes to full fruition. What does that word of full fruition means? Full realization of your dreams. When you have persistent, there's no way you can realize your dream. Talent is a raw, is like a raw. Let me use food like beans as an example. Talent is like a raw beans. If you want to heat beans, you've got to put it on fire, and you've got to wait. And there are some stubborn beans that it will take several hours before it cook. So talent without persistence never comes to fruit. So your talent is like that raw beans. In the process of you cooking the beans, you've got to be persistent. As a matter of fact, if you want to heat beans, you have to separate stones. A lot of processes. Cooking beans is even very easy. There's some stubborn food that you have to sweat before you can enjoy the delicacy of that food. So that is what persistence. So if you are not persistent, there's no way your talents can manifest. So it requires persistence. So talent without persistence never comes to full fruition, never comes to goals. Without consistent effort, significant progress becomes difficult. I said individuals abandon their dreams because they give up at the first sign of or during challenging moments. Most individuals actually their dreams because they are looking for instant gratification. You see many people doing jobs they ought not to even go into. They give them stipend, they waste their time, and they complain rather than facing their fears, at least to start something probably alongside with that job. No, they are comfortable. So failure to reach goals, if you're not persistent, there's no way you can reach your goals. Just like I said, many people actually give up at the first sign of or during challenging moments. And that one, content growth and development. He said persistence is essential for learning from mistakes. Yes, learning from mistakes. A lack of it means missing out on the ability to grow. Ability to grow, adapt to challenging circumstances, and improve performance. So, whosoever that runs on persistence, those kind of people will never grow. They would never develop. Because it's when you are persistent in doing something, that's when you will learn more. And let me use academics as an example. And that is why you will not graduate while you are in part one. You take part one, 100 level, you move to 200 level, that's persistence. You move to 300 level, you move to 400 level. Some people will even do 5-year course. So whosoever that say, no, I'm tired with this course, I cannot push through again. Those are the set of people that drop out, maybe at 100 level or so. So that's persistence, 100 level, 200, 300, 400, until you become a graduate. So that is persistent. And in the process of you moving from 100 level to 200 level, you know more, you grow, you develop academically. And that is one of the importance of persistence. But whosoever that fails to persist will not experience growth and personal development. And low self-esteem. I talk about this, low self-esteem. A failure to persist can lead to self-handicapping, where one doesn't put in full effort to avoid the pain of failing, which in turn erodes self-confidence. I talked about this the other time, low self-esteem. Some people failed and they allowed that failure to enter them. They allowed that failure to hit them. And because of that, they never persisted. I've engaged many people who failed to go to further in their academics. Some people say, when I failed my WAEC, I failed my NECO and things like that. Not that my parents were not willing to actually sponsor me. It's just that I found it difficult to push through, so they dropped out. Now, most of them regret it. If I had known, I would have given another shot. So now they cannot stand before their fellow that actually persisted then. So low self-esteem usually sets in when one fails to persist. And poor decision making and procrastination. They say procrastination is the thief of time. A lack of persistence is often associated with procrastination, indecision, and the tendency to make excuses, pass the buck, that is excuses, rather than facing challenges directly. The truth of the matter is this happens many times in workplaces. They procrastinate. This is not my line of schedule. This is not my line of responsibility. It's yours. It's not this. It's my procrastination, poor decision making, and procrastination. These are dangers of non-persistence. As I round off, I have take home. And what's that take home? Take home number one, cultivate a growth mindset that embraces challenges, sees the effort as a path to mastery, and believes in the ability to improve continuously. Take home number one, cultivate a growth mindset. Like I said, it's all about mindset. Mindset of a winner. I've discussed extensively on this. We need to cultivate it, the growth mindset that you failed did not make you a second citizen. That you failed does not make you a failure. So you need to cultivate a growth mindset that embraces challenges, sees the effort as a path to mastery, and believes in the ability to improve continuously. Take home number one. Take home number two. Accept discomfort and step out of your comfort zone to pursue new opportunities and stretch your capacity. Just like an eagle, you know, eagle can live up to 70 years. But when an eagle gets to 40 years, its strength diminishes. But for the eagle to be able to live more than 40 years, eagle rejuvenates. And what does it mean to rejuvenate? That eagle will leave its comfort zone and fly to the mountain top. And it's like it can be there for 150 days, rejuvenating, removing its peaks, removing, removing its peaks, removing its feathers and all the likes. And after that 150 days, eagles bounce back alive. And that is what it means. Leave your comfort zone and step out of your comfort zone as we start 2026. Leave your comfort zone and step out of your comfort zone to pursue new opportunities. Opportunities are out there. Many of them, many people complain about Nigeria. Nigeria is not as bad as the way we complain it. Opportunities are out there. Leave your comfort zone to pursue new opportunities and stretch your capacities. I said earlier that our brain is elastic in nature. The more you stretch it, the more it accommodates good information. So it's whatever you put in that your brain that processes it. Our mind also is elastic in nature. So the more you feed your brain and your mind with good things, the more you enlarge. So you've got to stretch your capacity in order to embrace new opportunities. Take home number 2. Take home number 3, say view setbacks as temporary and surmountable hurdles on the path to success. View setbacks as temporary and surmountable hurdles on the path to success. This is actually very important. That setback should be seen as temporary. Don't allow setbacks to become a permanent obstacle. So you've got to surmount it. There is a sport. I've forgotten the name of that sport now. That you have to be jumping the hurdles, jumping. I've forgotten the name of that. Yeah, when you are running, you jump. 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 Things like that. So those hurdles are just temporary setbacks. So you jump, you jump, you jump, you jump until you get to the last line. So those setbacks should be seen as temporary and surmountable hurdles on the path to. So I want to thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for listening. Next month, February, every third Saturday of the month, we'll also be here. So to discuss on another important topic. We've concluded persistence. So this is persistence part 2. That has been concluded. We're going to discuss another topic next month that is going to actually help us as we progress in this year 2026. So thank you everyone for staying till we'll meet next month by God's grace. Don't forget those take homes. Work on them and you'll be glad you did. Bye bye. Yes.